Guys, I think we were actually played. I don't think this is what it seems. And I'm going to explain to you exactly why I believe Don Lemon got exactly what he wanted. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, here's a little context.
Look, I stand proud and I stand tall. This is not a victory lap for me because it's not over. They're going to try again and they're going to try again. And guess what? Here I am. Keep trying. That's not going to stop me from being a journalist. You're not going to diminish my voice. Go ahead, make me into the new Jimmy Kimmel if you want. Because I'm not going anywhere.
Journalist, former colleague of ours, former CNN anchor, Don Lemon, has been taken into custody, arrested just days after a protest inside a Minneapolis church.
Now, don't get me wrong. Like, nobody wanted this to happen more than myself. But one of the biggest stories in the last year and a half just got buried today because everybody's talking about Don Fake Lemon. Early today, January 30th, federal agents arrested him and three others, Trahir, Gene Cruz, Georgia Fort, and Jamail Ladil, I can't even, for their roles in the January 18 disruption at City's Church in St. Paul, Minnesota. Here's a few clips of that.
This guy here, look, he's hugging his kid. And, you know, I imagine it's uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here. But again, careful, it's very slippery right here. Yeah. It's uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here, but that's what really, careful, please, really slippery. Not kidding. That's what protesting is about. And so, what do you think of this?
I mean, this is unacceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship.
But there were folks who will say,
I have to take care of my flock.
Okay, but listen, we live in there's a constitution in the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
Yeah. We're here to worship. We're here to worship Jesus because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me though.
We're here to worship Jesus.
Yes.
That's why we're here.
Yes.
Okay. That's why we're here. Okay. That's what we're about.
Don't you think Jesus would be understanding
we're about
and love these folks?
We're about spreading the love of Jesus.
But did you try to talk to them as a Christian?
No one is willing to talk.
Okay.
I have to take care of my church and my family, so I asked that you actually would also leave this building.
You don't want us to chronicle what happened?
Unless you're here to worship.
I'm always worship. I'm a Christian.
We're here to worship. Yeah. We're here to worship. Okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
There's a certain degree of entitlement. I think people who are, in the religious groups like that, it's not the type of Christianity that I practice, but I think that they're entitled, and that entitlement comes from a supremacy, a white supremacy. And they think that this country was built for them, that it is a Christian country, when actually we left England because we wanted religious freedom. It's religious freedom, but only if you're a Christian and only if you're a white male.
So, I mean, there's no question that Don Lemon is atrocious. There's no question that he's a sensationalist, that he's unqualified, that he's a DEI hire, that if he didn't look the way he was, if he wasn't gay, if he wasn't black, he would get nowhere because DEI propped him up. Equal outcome, not equal opportunity. He did not earn any of his positions through merit. He spreads disgusting, repulsive lies. There's nobody who wants him to go down more than me. But my fellow Americans, I fear we fell right into a trap. Here's Pam Bondi, Attorney General, saying, at my direction early this morning, federal agents arrested Don Lemon, Traherne Jean Cruz, Georgia Fort, and Jamal Liddell Lindy in connection with the coordinated attack on City's Church in St. Paul, Minnesota. More details soon. Ash Patel, early this morning, partners arrested 4 individuals in connection to the January 18 coordinated attack. And more to come. Here's a statement from Abby Lowell, who is the attorney for Don Lemon, saying Don Lemon was taken into custody by federal agents last night in Los Angeles, where he was covering the Grammy Awards. Oh, I wish there was video footage of that. Don has been a journalist for 30 years, and his Constitution-protected work in Minneapolis was no different than what he has always done. Invading churches, invading private spaces, attacking children? It's an interesting resume. That's an interesting track record. The First Amendment exists to protect journalists. He's not a journalist. Whose role it is to shine light on the truth and hold those in power accountable. There is no more important time for people like Don to be doing his work. Instead of investigating the federal agents who killed 2 peaceful, oh my God, this is such dreck. Minnesota protesters, the Trump Justice Department is devoting its time, attention, and resources to this arrest. And that is the real indictment of wrongdoing. They think we're all stupid. I mean, this is like the Democrat playbook. The Democrats think we're all like just complete automaton, brainless mooks. This unprecedented attack on the First Amendment and transparent attempt to distract attention from the many crises facing this administration will not stand. Don will fight these charges vigorously and thoroughly in court. So he was arrested. Every single creator, podcaster is celebrating this. Not so fast. I'm going to give you a different perspective. Okay, really quickly, I have to share with you our new sponsor on the channel, Chapter. Medicare is super confusing. Millions of seniors are on the wrong Medicare plan, and most don't even know it. The call with Chapter is absolutely free, and there's no pressure to sign up. Even if you're already on the right plan, this is so amazing. Chapter will tell you, and if not, they'll help you switch. Chapter is like the only national Medicare advisor that compares every plan, so you can be sure that you're seeing all your options. It's completely independent, unbiased, and always advocates for you, not the insurance companies. And they can review everything in under 20 minutes. Chapter will help you stay in network with your preferred doctors and get all the benefits that you're entitled to. On average, seniors who work with Chapter have saved over $1,100 a year. Take a look at this testimonial from one of our very own, Teresa, who says just got off the phone with Chapter, was able to save over $1,000 a year by calling them. Thanks, Professor Ned. I don't have a lot of sponsors on this channel. I'm very selective, very picky. I vet them, I research them, I do my due diligence because I only want to partner with people that I know bring value and that will help you. And that's why I've partnered with Chapter. So you can see the number on your screen right now. I'm also going to leave a link, and I'll have the number down in the description and in the pinned comment. I want you to call 656-218-0931, or you can go to askchapter.org/Nez. Again, that number is 656-218-0931. Call Chapter right now and start saving. Everything I've said about Don Lemon, about him being unqualified and having zero merit, this is one of the most unqualified, undeserving individuals to ever be given a camera, lighting, a microphone, and an audience. This guy was disgracefully fired, rightly so, from CNN. He was offered a once-in-a-lifetime lifeline by Elon Musk. Hey, come do your show on X, which is literally the premier platform in the modern era of communications and news, etc. It is the digital town hall. This is the last bastion of free speech in the online ecosystem. And he blew that on the very first day, blew it. And Elon was like, okay, I'm done. And the whole world saw again, why are you giving this guy any airtime, any nothing? He is absolutely unqualified. He is a mook. He's brain dead. He has no talent. He's a hack. But Don Lemon is so desperate for relevancy, so desperate for attention, much like low IQ Crockett and all these other unqualified DEI hires who are just absolutely desecrating the hallowed halls of Congress. Our forefathers. Can you imagine what Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, can you imagine what Martha Washington, Abby Adams is thinking about low IQ Crockett actually residing in Congress, having power over policy in the United States of America? I mean, they've got to be just throwing up in their mouth. Don Lemon was obscure. He was just another blight in the history of bad journalism and fake news. He's nothing. He's nobody. But guess what? We're all talking about him now. Unfortunately, we live in an era when sensationalism and controversy sells and gets attention. Everybody is talking about him now. Everybody is propping him up right now. And I have a bad, icky feeling inside the depths of marrow of my soul that he's smiling and loving every single second of it. This guy was obscure. He was nobody. He was nothing. And now he just buried the most important story, maybe in the 21st century. And that is this: Luigi Mangione. We all saw the video. We all know exactly what he did. He basically confessed it in his arraignment, and we saw the perp walk. He's guilty a billion times over, sitting in McDonald's when he got caught, wanting to get caught, wanting to be a martyr, all of his background. I did an entire video on this a year ago on who this person was, how he was radicalized by indoctrination camps. He came from an affluent background. He came from the best university, private high school, private this, affluent society. I know what happens in these academic institutions better than anybody. The biggest story in the last 12 months has been buried. They just removed the death threat potential charges for the Luigi Mangione. Why would they do that? Why would they do that when you have this much evidence? And you nor I, well, I mean, I'm doing a lot of digging. This is my job. This is why you watch me. Nobody's talking about this. No, you're not going to see this on mainstream media. You're not going to see this anywhere. Why? Because Don Lemon has hijacked the news feed. And by the way, this isn't the first time public figures have benefited from being arrested. How about Nelson Mandela? This guy went to prison and then became the leader of South Africa. He's like revered across the world. How about Martin Luther King? Repeated arrests legitimized the civil rights movement as a moral struggle against state power. The Birmingham jail episode. I used to teach his letter from Birmingham jail. It's perfectly aligned with the rhetorical principles of Aristotle. It's powerful. He became huge after that. And let's not forget the man, the myth, the legend. Somebody, quite frankly, whose headshot became so famous, made him so popular, there's no way you can deny it. Some would say that this is the headshot that won him the presidency. Probably one of the most powerful, iconic images in United States history. I dare you to find me one that has more breadth, depth, and power. This practically won him the presidency. Malcolm X, Aung San Suu Kyi, and the list goes on and on and on. So who's having the last laugh? This guy went from a disgraced, fired former anchor who blew his whole entire life by exposing who he truly is, to failure after abysmal failure after abysmal failure. And the reason why this is going to help him and it doesn't help anybody else is because we know this isn't going to stick. Did he harm anybody? Did he hurt anybody? Did he maim anybody? No. Did he do something that was absolutely wrong? Of course. It'll be a slap on the wrist, if anything. But the left, because they love criminals, because they love illegals, they love terrorists, they love people who are rapists, they love murderers, they love thugs, they love cartel members, they love gangsters. They love, this is going to be their new hero. And you're already seeing it everywhere. I don't have to, do I really need to share with you the screenshots? What's happening to Don Lemon is a threat to Constitution. This is why Bruce Springsteen was right. It's all over the place. They're already elevating him as his hero. And this guy's smiling all the way to the bank. I wouldn't even be surprised if somehow this schmuck, this mook, this talentless hack, Lemon, somehow gets an anchor position somewhere again. Or even worse, dare I say, God forbid, knock on wood, maybe this guy runs for office. If he plays this right, which he has a PR machine behind him, he's probably going to get a ton of help from the left, ton of help from the Holly Weirdo cabal, a ton of help from all these corrupt swamp vermin. Scary to think, but he might even grab a seat, become a senator, maybe a congressman, dare I say. I've seen crazier things happen, and I know you have too. So I pose this question to you. Is Don Lemon going to really suffer real repercussions from this? Or do you agree with me that he's going to get nothing but upside? Let me know in the comments down below. Please tap that thumbs up if you love America. I really, really appreciate it. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here, just in case you missed it. Tap my face right here to subscribe and follow. It's absolutely free. And as always, may God bless you. And may God bless the USA and all who defend her. I'll see you soon.